What you just saw were a few snippets of the nerve center of Flipkart's Big Billion Days. As we gear up for the 11th edition of this mega event, I'm here at Flipkart's corporate headquarters to get an understanding of what goes into building one of India's largest supply chains, where all the magic happens, where millions of packages are sorted, shipped and delivered across India. Today we are talking to leaders who work tirelessly to ensure that joy is delivered pan-India. Joining me first is Hemant Badri. He is a Senior Vice President here at Flipkart. He is responsible for many things here in the company, but he has been tasked with Flipkart's mammoth supply chain operations, which is absolutely vital for the success of Big Billion Days. Essentially, he's the man who is responsible for making sure that every Big Billion Days package reaches its destination smoothly. Thank you so much, Hemant.
Pleasure meeting you.
The time.
Pleasure meeting you.
To us. I really appreciate it. I want to start with understanding Flipkart's large-scale supply chain operations. If you could take us through that, and also during Big Billion Days, the scale really goes up. So how do you tackle that?
So I think a very valid question. I think Flipkart supply chain is technology enabled first. Second, it is a very, very people-centric organization because it's kind of a blend of technology and people. Just to give you a sense, we would have closer to 250,000 people working across length and breadth of supply chain. When we talk about, we would have closer to 22 million square feet area, which could be a 450 football court. That's a kind of a grade A warehouses we have built. Over the years, what we have learned is how actually a large-scale fulfillment center can be operated. We have a fulfillment center in Calcutta, which is kind of a 2 million square feet, which is 18 meter high, wherein you have 10 kilometer long conveyor itself to entirely automate. So, over the years, we've really innovated a lot of indigenous technology of cross-belt sorters, AGVs, which fully make sure that people are at a particular place and technology helps you to move the product and the shipment. And we really put very high focus on automation, use of technology, avoid repetitive tasks, and make sure that the entire supply chain is extremely reliable and consistent. That's the most important value we drive, because one of our core value is customer obsession, and we continuously focus on driving that consistency and reliability.
Right. And I bet during Big Billion Days, the demand significantly increases, right? So how do you tackle that? How do you make sure that there isn't any sort of a deterrent to how the consumer or the customer experience will be during that time specifically?
Just to give you an example, we have opened 11 large fulfillment center across 9 states that for this BBD specifically. We've looked at really advanced automation system in 6 of our sort center. There are fully automated sortation. The preparation happens as soon as you finish one BBD, and we've created a playbook so that the singular purpose is delight our customers, spread smile, and that's a way people wait for a year to look forward for what is there in the BBD, what are their wish lists. We also work with a lot of seller ecosystem, MSMEs, and really help them to strengthen their digitization journey, help them how they can from any part of the country get delivered to any part. So we are a marketplace. We work with sellers, we work with our supply chain partner ecosystem, we work with a lot of MSMEs to help them to get ready for BBD and then really delight as a customer base for us.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to understand, have there been innovations or new processes or new constructs that you have used or brought in this time around for this 11th edition of the Big Billion Days?
Few things I would just talk about. Entire product exchange as an affordability lever for appliance, mobile has really changed the way we experience it. It is kind of a friction-free and delight experience. The entire thing happens through kind of a app-based assessment and app-based confirmation and kind of a free delight experience at the doorstep. That's a new construct. If you look at entire for a Wishmasters, our last mile folks, there's a lot of automation in terms of navigation, in terms of open box delivery, easy and quick returns. All those launches have been done with use of strong technology. We have also created, for every customer, how do you have a green channel delivery clearance so that people wait for the festivities and they get what they want on time with a kind of a delight. So these are 5-6 new construct. There's intense amount of automation across facility. We're also for this BBD, few cities will have our 10-minute delivery also, which is Flipkart Minute is available in Bangalore, Delhi NCR and Mumbai, just to add as an innovation.
Yeah. And do you think that this has also increased opportunity for more employment, specifically during Big Billion Days? Have you needed it, and how have you looked at that?
That part of my job really feels me very, very proud. This year we'll have closer to 100,000 new people, first generation employees coming to the some kind of a warehousing fulfillment operation. We have a supply chain academy which keeps training them for 6 weeks in terms of logistic operation, inbound processes, outbound processes, and we make them suitable for employment with us as an e-commerce company and many other e-commerce company. So we will have almost 100,000 job opportunities directly, indirectly working for us during this time. At the same time, I'm proud to say 22% of our workforce is a diverse workforce. They work all the 3 shifts with a lot of state government. We have now operation even in the night shift with pick drop services, right kind of infrastructure. So I think that part of a job, it's a people function. It's super, super exciting. You get to meet so many people who have so much great passion, hard work to make their livelihood and make an impact to the entire MSME, seller, entire ecosystem.
In fact, we've seen that over the last 2 days. I mean, it seems like the entire team has been preparing for this for a really long time, and that excitement and that exuberance is definitely there. Before I let you go, my final question to you is, what are you most excited about in this edition of Big Billion Days?
So this BBD is extremely special, and as always the previous BBD, 2-3 things I'm super, super, super excited about. First is that we've prepared really well. We have really met all our sellers across all the cities. Their preparation is super, super exciting to see what they're going to unveil for our customers. So I think it's execution, selection, the kind of width and the kind of newness is multifold than any other BBD is what is the first thing I'm seeing it. I see teams really, really excited. This year, we have multiple offerings in terms of price lock to really look at dawn dusk deliveries, which is same day, next day deliveries. We are offering for 10-minute delivery also. So I think with the kind of array of services we are offering to our customers, I'm really, really bullish that this will be one of the best ever BBD Flipkart would have witnessed and India would have witnessed. So for me, the sheer intensity, the vibes in the campus, the way energies are pouring, it's just a thrill for me to experience it.
All the very, very best,
Thank you.
Hemant, and I hope for the success of Flipkart's Big Billion Days. Thank you so much once again for taking.
Nice meeting and coming here for the chat. Yeah,
thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Let's move on to the backbone of this futuristic supply chain. I'm very excited to speak to Prajakta Kanaglekar. She is the Vice President HR here at Flipkart, and she is shaping the future of talent in the company. And at the end of the day, Prajakta, it is all about the people, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm very, very happy to speak to you. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to me here. I was talking to Hemant about this large-scale supply chain. I wanted to understand from you, how are you supporting and empowering the employees who are at these warehouses and who are responsible for making sure that Flipkart's Big Billion Days is a success?
I think you're absolutely right. Our employees are truly the backbone and truly make us who we are. And it's not just for Big Billion Days, but it's every single day. It's even more important during Big Billion Days because we have responsibility for such a huge number of frontline associates that come and work for us during the festive season. And there are multiple things that we have to look at holistically, right? To make sure they feel empowered, supported, and they feel excited and motivated to come work for us. So if I were to give you maybe a few examples, right? If I think about rewards, one is because this is a festive season for all of us and our families, we ensure that we give festival bonuses, right? We also make sure there are reward schemes or recognition schemes which are aspirational. Like, for example, in our last miles, we give out bikes or other things which make it very aspirational for the Wishmasters who work with us. We also have productivity-linked incentives. So just to encourage people to give their best, right, we make sure we incentivize that as well. This is more on the reward side. If I talk to you a little bit about well-being, we have something called as an associate value proposition, and one of the pillars within that is we care. And as part of that, for example, we just launched Wellness Wednesdays to make sure that nutritious meals are provided on that day, balanced meals for their health. We also have a comprehensive program called Suraksha, where they have a doctor on call, which is free of cost, and consultations. They also get discounts on surgeries. Plus, we also introduce mental wellness. So they all have free access to counselors if they need that at any point in time. And I think the final piece, which is extremely important in that population, is to make sure their voice is heard. So we have a platform called Awaaz. So in case any of them have any concerns, any help they need, they use that platform to raise their voice, where we can then immediately figure out how to help them out. So I think there are multiple ways in which we kind of make sure that they feel empowered and supported.
Right, and that's very interesting. And I bet that specifically during the Big Billion Days, the onboarding and hiring processes are massive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then how do you train your employees? How do you make sure that they are equipped to sort of handle the tasks that they are sort of, given specifically during this time?
Yeah. So honestly, I think it has taken a lot of work and it has been built over a period of time. It's extremely important for us that our frontline associates who come work with us feel like they have the skills necessary to do the work that's being asked for them, of them. And when we do that, you need to look at different learning mechanisms as well. So we have, for example, Disperse, which is a digital learning platform, because we also have employees who are working across different sites spread across India, not just warehouses, but even our last mile. So that they have rigorous induction programs through this online platform that they go through. We also have something called as Gurukuls. These are simulation areas, so it's pretty much simulates what real life looks like, and so they get to practice, right, till they feel they are more comfortable on what is expected of them. We also have on-the-job mentoring programs. So it's not just the training that they get, but also the mentoring that they get. We have programs like Halla Bowl, which are on the ground to help people come up learning curves. There is also one fun thing which I really like, because it's not just about training you when you just come in, but it's also about continuous learning. So we have something called as School Gurus. So these are leader-teacher programs. And they also kind of happen all the way across our supply chain on the ground. There is one more thing that I can talk about, which is the Supply Chain Academy. We have our L&D team runs it as an intense program over a few weeks, where we bring in people from different parts of the country and train them and get them ready for the industry. We also hire many of them, but we also train them for the industry. So those are the things that we do as Flipkart, and I really love kind of seeing it in action when I'm traveling as well.
Yeah. I mean, how important do you think human resource is for Flipkart, specifically during the Big Billion Days? Because like you said, you are hiring a lot more, you're onboarding a lot more people. So how much of importance or priority do you give human resources at that time specifically? And of course, other times as well. But during that time, do you think that that becomes a huge priority?
It is a top two. It's actually the first priority for us. Because if we don't have the right people at the right place, doing the right things the right way, we will never be successful as an organization, right? So if I think about even who we bring in, that also is a huge area of focus for us. We focus heavily on bringing diverse workforce to come work with us. So whether it is women, whether it is veterans, whether it is persons with disabilities, whether it is folks from the LGBTQIA spectrum, we kind of ensure that we have representation across, and we've seen the benefit that we get as supply chain out of it as well, right? It just changes the feeling of belonging on the floor. It changes the way people behave on the floor. And I think the vibrancy in the place also is at a very different level when we do that.
Yeah. You know, Flipkart has employees across pretty much every district in the country, every single pin code. You have people working in different states. It's either in an office or a warehouse or a facility. How do you then manage to make sure that every employee is feeling empowered, you know, with that purpose of, Flipkart says that their purpose is empowering
every Indian's dream.
Yeah, a billion dreams, right?
Yeah.
So how do you make sure that that happens for all of your employees who are working pretty much all across the country?
Yeah, it's a great question, because it has been a learning for me as well, right? When I came in and I just understood the scale and complexity of what we handle and the enormity of what it means to kind of create that environment together. It takes effort and it takes planning. So whether it is the communication channels we use, so to give you an example, whether it is simple all hands that we do across the board, which is telecast across, whether it is a lot of communication that goes both from Hemant and me, whether it is around emails, videos, podcasts, different mechanisms in which we can reach out to people. Whether it is an app that we've launched for our frontline associates called eSampark, we have a mechanism of communicating directly with all of them together, right? All of these are ways in which we communicate. We talk about who we are, who we want to be. Why is it, really, really important in terms of working with us and what we are doing for India? So I think those communication channels help us to do that. Not only that, pretty much all of us as a leadership group travel very regularly, meet people on the ground, understand what's happening, so that our people don't feel that these are folks who are sitting in central office, not knowing what's happening around.
Yeah.
So also being there with them, communicating regularly is also extremely important, that all of us take very seriously. And I'm just thinking about, the kind of initiatives that each of my team members run within their spaces, right? So it's not just us doing things centrally, but it's also each of our ground teams, whether it is our operations leaders or our HR teams, who constantly and every day kind of make sure that communication is seamless.
Yeah. So you're making sure that there isn't a sort of detachment, from people who are working maybe in the cities, vis-a-vis people working in rural districts, right?
So, for example, we have an entire BBD engagement plan that's laid out. We have music licenses. So across, if you visit any of our warehouses, I think the funnest thing is we have music blaring, right? So that people really have fun and what they do. And they select what music they want to play. So ensure they have music licenses.
Yeah.
And most of our big facilities are actually playing music and working together. So small things really matter. Like, for example, on Monday, we are planning a podcast. And this is fun podcasts with our leaders, just so that employees feel like they're connected.
Yeah.
Right? And their leaders also care for them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prajakta. This has been an absolutely wonderful conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Very, very best for Big Billion Days, and I'm hoping that it's a huge, huge success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Flipkart's Big Billion Days is more than just a sale. It's a celebration powered by passionate people, and behind every BBD order, there's an incredible team driving the magic, whether in the supply chain or the people operations. Stay tuned as BBD unfolds and get ready to experience the magic yourself.